Preparing live stream. Preparing live stream. Oh, hi.
Just gotta mute that.
Huh? Who, me?
Just your screen off the joint, or if it's gonna give you feedback.
Yeah.
Can't watch them at the same
There
time.
we go.
Just gotta go ahead, scream. You gotta scream over there and let somebody else watch the screen. Make sure the screen
Man, I got so much to learn. Let's see.
Okay, it says live on YouTube. Kia put that out there, John. Live on YouTube.
Okay. Then maybe we're actually already live. It says I'm supposed to press go live or something.
It say live. I see the John live here.
Oh, shucks.
Kia, is the John live? Is the John live on YouTube?
We are live on YouTube,
Put
guys.
it in the chat.
We is live. It does. We are live now. Look,
Yeah, we lie.
look at that. Look at that.
LIH. We lie.
Oh,
Oh, okay. That's
okay.
what you texted to did me. Okay, I see you now.
So, yeah,
All right.
it
Well, cool. It's
changed.
7:09. We gonna wait. We're gonna wait these 7 minutes.
Yeah,
6 minutes.
I'm going to change this link in a few places because it switched it out for me.
Oh, okay.
That
Link in the
wasn't
bio.
part of the deal.
Link in bio.
So where people probably are is not where we are. That's exciting. Oh, okay, okay. Edit this description right quick, y'all. Say that, John. Say that, John. This is exciting. Exciting times. There seems to be 2 viewers, nobody in the first one. So we'll delete that one forever. Mm.
I'm doing a lot.
All right. I think we should be ready to go at approximately 7:15.
So it's 7:11 currently. So we got 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have switched some things over for us.
Okay.
So, so that I can find people and people can find me. Text me black. Intro. Comments of customers. Yes, I have a lot to learn here. This is interesting.
Can someone text me the link, just to the where people can watch it on YouTube? Or did you already send it?
Yes.
Just text it to me and then I throw it on my IG. Oh, you know what? Let me just do this.
Thank you guys. You're incredibly patient with me.
Let me switch this. What's that? Who's that? That's you. That's you. That's me.
Huh?
All right. We're about to see something. I'm about to see something. We got 3 more minutes. Shabadoo. Shay.
Yay. Okay. Okay.
What up? What up
Huh?
now? How you doing? How y'all doing? So check it out. I'm getting ready to do this tattoo talk with Imani K Brown,
Hello.
aka ipukekawaii.
Good
If y'all
night.
could join me over at youtube.com. What's the rest of it? Throw it in the chat. She gonna throw it in the chat. I'm gonna throw it in here.
Do you want the easier link?
Yeah, throw me the easy link. Easy link's coming.
LittleInkPlayShop.com.
Little ink, little ink play shop.com. Just those words. Little
Yes.
ink play shop.com
/
forward slash
shop.
shop
SHOPPE
SHOPPE
hyphen talk.
hyphen talk. All right, you heard me. So, hey, what's up, Ra? What's good, y'all? So yeah, we're doing a tattoo talk for Black folks by Black folks. For those of you who want to get body modifications and art on your body, I have an expert that I'm talking to over on her on the tubes of you. So I'm about to put this John up in here. Little ink play little. If I could spell, that'd be great. Little ink play shop with two P's and an E, or just shop.
Yes.
Shop with two P's and an E .com forward
Thank
slash
you.
forward slash shop, right?
Yes.
SHOPPE
Yes.
hyphen talk. And that's it, right?
That's it. That's
I'm gonna
that junk.
post that. That's where you need to go. Go there. Now I think I can pin that. Cool. So we can ready to do this tattoo talk.
Yes.
And what up, Samir? So we doing this tattoo talk on the pen jump. Um, hit the pen, pull out on the other jump. I'm gonna leave this open for as long as I can, but I'm actually about to start moderating right now. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm here with Imani K Brown,
Yo,
uh,
yo, yo.
aka IP Kawaii. Ma, did you want to show the video first? Did you want to show your little intro video or no?
No, I
Okay,
don't
so
want
we're not
the
gonna do that.
computer to cut off on us.
That's exactly
Y'all.
what you shouldn't do. So, Pete, we are discussing everything. So, I have been getting tattooed by Imani for I don't know, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Was it 5, 6, 7 years? 7 years?
A long
Longer,
time.
longer than that, probably. So I have, if you haven't seen, I have full sleeve that Imani did. I have a sock, which is the tattoo from your ankle to your knee. And we're about to do a full left side of my body, the whole full left side of my body, and a full back piece that's about to pop off. And most of the times, if you pay attention to the spaces that I'm on, if you're on IG, then you'll see that I will sometimes from time to time we pop in on the live and we have conversations. And because I know who the what's up, Steph? Because I know who the Steph, go over to the little ink play shop jump. People's out over there. Because I know who uh, the people are that are tuning in, and I know that they may be interested in getting tattoos. Who better to hear from than a tattoo artist? First of all, let's just say a tattoo artist. Second, for people of color, for Black folks, for those of us who've been told for a majority of our lives that Black people can't get color, or you too Black to have a tattoo, and so forth and so on, I think that the information that's necessary is there's information necessary for you from people that actually do this like in a real way. Now, nobody experimenting on your body, but people that understand the proper ink, um, the proper techniques, and what is best for you and your melanated situation, your magical melanin, as Imani will refer to it as.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talking about all that. And so just a brief intro, Imani. Well, I know Imani as Ivy City's own. So I just say Imani from Ivy City. So Ivy City, DC born and raised,
Yeah.
no Bama zones. Um, over here. I remember Imani from sneakers, actually. That's my first intersection with Imani was her doing customized sneakers. And then over the years, I didn't know she transitioned into doing tattoos. And then I was walking down U Street and I saw you in the shop and was like, "What? You in this job?" And actually, I had been seeing your work. I had seen your work on one of your sorority sisters, and I had seen your work on other people, right? That I
Yeah.
knew, but wasn't like. I think Roddy Rob didn't Roddy Rob get a piece from you?
Roddy Rod did. Yeah.
Yes. So I saw
Yeah.
Roddy Rod's junk. What's up, Chris? You could
I want
tune
to
in
say
over
that was
the
his
junk
first
that's pinned.
tattoo.
Yeah, so Roddy was getting work done, and so I loved the work, and I was like, hold up, let me roll up in this jump. And Imani just had open arms, and we chopped it up. Oh, yo, the folks from Adobo tuned in over on the IG. Yo, roll over to the
Oh,
little ink play shop that's pinned and peep this conversation that we having. I think y'all should tune in over there. And then that way you'll see both of us instead of seeing just my big face on this live. Um, but yeah, so Imani was always open to talking to me about the art that I wanted to have on my skin, open to answering questions, and I believe, uh, yeah, I think that my children were the only little people allowed in the shop ever
mhm. Yeah.
of all
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah. I think
Um,
there is only two customers outside of Chris's, and yours were one. Yep.
right. Yeah, so we just wanted to make sure that we talked about it. So we've gone over these questions a number of times on IG live, and we wanted to bring it to this other forum. We wanted to bring it to littleinkplayshop.com/shop talk, which you see pinned on the IG, and have you tune in here with Imani. So tap in, y'all. But I wanted to talk to you first. Just give us a brief background on who you are.
So, brief background. I'm Ivy City's finest. The end. We can all go home. I'm Imani K Brown. I'm a tattoo artist, illustrator, and designer. I love making people into human coloring books and coloring on them and making them happy with their skin. Um, what else? I work from here to Japan, and I say I'm an author? I'm also an author.
That's what I was
That's
going to hopefully
yeah.
get into.
That's
Yes.
that's like that's all that means. Hi.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful thing. So how did you? So I do remember. I remember when you first started talking about learning Japanese,
Yeah.
right? And so I know that there's a deeper meaning behind the Japanese situation, but I know that you marry cultural things.
Hmm.
So African symbolism and Japanese symbolism, and there's an intersection there. So can you talk
Yeah.
about that intersection?
So I think I use Japanese culture to more explore and better understand and define my own blackness. Learning and understanding Japanese culture has taken me all the way back to the continent often. So seeing that invisible bridge, and I mean, we all have seen it coming up. You know, you've Black moms and karate movies was like the jam. so so I've always said that there's this proverbial like invisible bridge, a slippery slope kind of
Right.
between Asian culture and Black culture. And then as a nerd and weeb, if you will, I love like Japanese nerdy things. So being able to see, I guess, as I started, I don't know, going down the rabbit hole, I started
Mhm.
seeing myself and some things that were relatable to me in Japanese culture, and it was actually worth exploring. So, you know, that's what I do. I love to actually see myself and see my blackness in other cultures, especially cultures like cultures you're akin to. I'm
Right.
akin to Japanese culture and French culture.
Oh,
So to
nice.
see
Okay.
myself in those two cultures, um and like I said, slippery slope is not,
Right.
one of those things like it's uh I won't say it's romanticized. I'm very much realist about the history of things as it pertains to both cultures and countries and Black people. But at the same time, still being able to find some appreciation, find something that still relates to me, and that still speaks to my culture.
Hold up, somebody told me they're having trouble with the pin link. Let me just make
Uh
sure.
oh.
Little Little Ink INK play PLAY shop SHOPPE.com.
Mm-hmm. Hyphen shop
Shop,
talk.
right, and then .com / shop SHOPPE
Uh-huh.
hyphen talk.
Oh, you put, oh, okay. I see it. Little Ink Play shop. It shop there is just one, like,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
So let me do this again. So get rid of the little pen jump. Sorry, y'all. Just letting you know.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, but we just gonna we gonna rock this out. So
Yeah.
little. This is where you can tap in.
Mm-hmm.
Little LITTLE
Mm-hmm.
INK play PLAY
Mm-hmm.
SHOP
Mm-hmm. That.
.com
Yes.
/ SHOPPE
Yes.
hyphen talk. And
Yes.
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna post that.
There we
And
go.
then we're gonna say
Get
we're
that.
gonna pin that. Boom.
I
So
see that,
tell people
Joan.
to
I see
there we
that,
go. All
Joan.
right, cool. Nice. That's what I want to make sure. I want to make sure people who really want to talk about this thing have a place to come. That's why I'm glad we're doing it. Like I wanted to go to the live. I don't want to be too distracting, but I also want people to make sure that they hear you.
Yeah, no
So
worries.
we can
No
talk about
worries.
this.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know a lot of times we sit in your shop and we talk about like the ideas of success. I know me personally, as an MC and a dad and having traveled a whole bunch of stuff, I don't view success like other people. Like I don't feel like success is a whole bunch of money. I just feel like success is I don't work for nobody. So I work for me, right? And whatever that bread is what it is. I mean, of course you wanna. What's up now? Pull up to the pin, John, and so you can tap in on this tattoo talk. Um, so that's very ADD, very ADHD in me, just popping and popping back. But
Look,
you know what?
no,
This is where we live.
it's you know it's my heart. Like I'm just like, yo, you're
He
doing it so
understand.
flawlessly right now.
He understand. So but no, for you, like what does success look like? And right after we talk about success, we're gonna go right into the tattoo questions so people don't just get caught up in thinking we doing self-help over this job, even though it is self-help. Yo,
I
what
know
up, Roddy?
exactly
Roddy,
what's
tune
going
in to the link. We just mentioned your name talking about tattoos at littleinkplayshop.com / shop
on.
talk, shop hyphen talk. Pull up.
Bro, hey babe, big bros in the house. So success to me, and I talk about this actually in my book, is defining what freedom would be for me. Being Black in America, you're not actually free. Having a birth certificate, you're not actually free. So it's a lot that says that or gives me the guise of being free without being free. So how do I actually define freedom for myself within that guise, if
Right.
that makes sense? And that would be what my success would be: being able to, work for myself, work for my clients, define a healthy lifestyle for myself, because America ain't gonna do that for
Right.
you.
Right.
And defining, putting up my boundaries to be able to navigate throughout the world. I won't say untouched, but a bit more protected, I guess you can say. So being able to define my own boundaries and put them up unapologetically and still be able to move about this world,
Right.
not being able or not having to lead with my Blackness to move about this world, but to be confident enough to be that chick who tattoos and can move about this world because that's what my ancestors told me I could do. It's
That's
very
right.
simple. So,
Right. So
so
historically, you have black folks in the church, and black folks in different situations that talk about how tattoos is bad and they horrible and they ain't really black thing. It's a
mhm.
white thing. Please enlighten the individual peoples about where this thing come
so
from, the origins.
So Black tattooing. So tattooing is actually from the continent. It is from Africa. It is of us. I say all the time, and you can actually go back to documentaries like Color Outside the Lines. Zulu says it. There are a lot of Black tattooers who are older than me, who come before me, who still preach the same gospel. So it's nothing new. That tattoo is actually historically of us. That is something that we created for communication, for identification, and for healing. If you go back to the continent, even today, you can still find practices in, I think it's in Ethiopia. There are a few other places. Even Uber drivers have told me about
Mm,
some of the practices and where to go look for things. But we've been doing that, as Zulu says, since
right.
the beginning of time. Like that is communication. If you look at how colonization happens, one of the first things they take away is communication, which means that you have to demonize, native tongue. Tattoo is a native tongue.
Mm,
So,
mm,
that's pretty much what's happened there. And then it's been repackaged and sold back to us in a very bastardized way,
right.
very pop culture. I say it all the time, like I'm not even supposed to be tattooing for money. This is
Mm,
supposed to be something healing for the community.
right.
But here we are.
Right. So
So,
you got to make a
you
living,
know.
right? So I think we should break it down like into separate buckets, right? And approach this from those who have never gotten a tattoo and might be afraid to get one, what you call the tattoo virgins. That's what I would
Yes.
say, right? To those of us who have experience with tattoos but don't know the best way to treat our magical melanin,
Hmm.
right? And then I want to go into the professional, like folks that have been doing this for a minute,
Levels to
but,
this,
but
huh?
there's levels, but haven't quite gotten into understanding, like, even within your levels of having 9 million pieces, like certain things you still probably shouldn't be doing. And so they need to get that word from a black tattoo artist who tattoos black skin,
Hmm.
and has worked at tattooing black skin. So for the tattoo virgins, um, I think let's talk about what, like, the first things they should probably. I want to tick off a couple of things,
Hmm.
like how should they choose an artist, um, and how should they like test to see if they're allergic, right?
Ooh, that's a good one. So, choosing an artist, you always want to do research.
Right.
I normally tell people we live in a digital age, so you can definitely use the internet as like a starting point. That
Right.
shouldn't be the end all to be all to choosing your artist. You should definitely go feel them out, ask questions about, getting tattooed. If they offer consultations or anything like that, sit down, get a consultation and talk with them. I normally tell people to look at lifestyle, look at how, if you're using internet as a starting point or as a tool, look at their
Mm,
lifestyle, see what jams with you,
mm,
and then use that as a way to start that research.
right.
Also, portfolios are huge. That is what tells you what artists do, because we all don't do the same thing,
Right.
contrary to popular belief. So, sorry
Right.
for rolling my eyes, guys. But we don't all do the same thing. So if you have an idea in mind, being able to look at a portfolio for that idea, if they tattoo dark skin, and what that looks like for you. Looking at healed work, looking at the composition. If you wanted color on dark skin, to find color on dark skin in that artist's portfolio, you want to tick off those. And now you got me saying it. You want to tick off those those boxes of the things
Mhm.
that you would actually want to be able to you will want to be able to see on your skin. So
Right.
the same way I was talking about being able to see myself and my blackness in
Mhm.
another culture, being able to see yourself and a possible end result of a tattoo on another client in that artist portfolio is actually what you're looking for. So if you can see that and it's just like, okay, cool. If it's a style that you think that artist does or you want that artist, but you don't see the style in their
Mm-hmm.
portfolio, ask
Mm-hmm.
questions. You never know. Some of us actually do, we're well versed in a lot of styles, but maybe it's not the style that we're marketing for, that we're boosting up our portfolio for. So you may not see, a lot of portrait work, but, things like that. So research, you can use internet as a starting point.
Right.
Definitely make contact with your artist and ask all the questions,
Right.
and definitely look in the portfolios and see if you can find, or see if you can see an idea that gives you confidence for what your end result could possibly be. I think those are the three most important things.
That's dope. You're so dope.
I be
Do me a
trying.
favor.
Huh?
Can you hit your live to tap into my live just so
Yeah, yeah,
people can
yeah.
hear, just in
Oh, because
case,
I'm
because they
hanging
might be
out on
goofy.
this
They
jump.
might be goofy
Mhm.
gums.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then that
Uh,
way, instead of, because we might as well cover all the territory. Might well cover all the territories if we're gonna cover it. I'm
just
not
do that.
trying to pause too much, and I know there we go, boom. So splash, splash, and now here we go. We're gonna double down on the whole situation. All right. So I invited you in. Did it was it waiting, connecting?
Hi, people on Instagram.
Here we go.
Oh.
All right. So now everybody should be solid. Can you hear me? You can
Mhm.
hear me over there. All right, cool. They can hear you. You can hear me. We can hear each other. So we having this tattoo talk. If y'all tapping on the pinned part, the pinned link, if you
Mhm.
tapping on the pinned link, you will be able to go to a nicer space instead of IG to view this tattoo talk that we are
Mhm.
having
Mhm.
currently between myself and Imani K Brown. And we talking about black folks being tattooed on black skin. That's what we talking about. And just breaking down some of the mythology and the inconsistencies that people um, uh, get when they talk about black people getting tattooed. Because I remember a white tattoo artist telling me that I couldn't get color.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't get no color. You might well get the black and white jump. Like, and I'm like, nah, Slim, can I get the color? And the tattoo artist was like, nah. And then I remember us having a conversation with my man
Mhm.
Sean Glover, and he was like, they told me I was too dark to get tattoos. And so yeah, I would, let's you talked about, did you talk about testing for allergic reactions? How should people do that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was the other part. So testing for allergic reaction can be kind of spicy,
Mm-hmm.
but you can have your tattoo artist do like a little. I've done like little lines,
Okay.
things that people would end up
Mm-hmm.
having, like, covered up later on,
Mm-hmm.
something that we can see what that reaction would have to be.
Mm-hmm.
I've honestly, in 17 years, only had to do a reaction once.
Wow. Okay.
And that's, or do a reaction test once. And that's only because it was the young lady's first tattoo. So she, while she trusted what I was saying, she still wanted to
Right.
experience me for herself. Had no problem doing it, and then she got a big old tattoo.
Right.
So,
Right. And so for black folks, what do you say is the best ink brands that should be used on, on our skin?
so I wouldn't necessarily go into ink brands,
Okay.
because you can't really go to a tattoo artist and be like, I want you to use this ink on my skin.
Right. Right. Right.
It's
Right.
not really how that works.
Right.
But um, again, with seeing portfolios, see what that tattoo artist work healed is like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can bypass the ink brands altogether.
Right.
If there is a question to ask about ink, I think the most pertinent question that people ask right now is if the ink is vegan, which
Right.
these days
Ah.
most tattoo ink is vegan.
Okay.
So that's usually the one thing that people still ask, and it's a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably the question, in fairness, that clients should, if they feel the need to ask a question about ink, it would be something in that,
Okay.
more than the brand itself.
And as a shop owner, right? Because
Mhm.
this is the thing I always think about is when you are the person that is stepping into the shop
Mhm.
to get your first tattoo. Because we talking right now, we talking about the tattoo virgins. Um, some of their art ideas, right, are kind of crazy and don't really match their pocket.
Yeah.
So can we talk about like how do you manage those expectations, and what are the expectations like for you? What do you consider for folks? Like, what do you consider
Caviar,
saying to them in regard to budget, and how to manage their expectations when it comes to their ideas?
champagne taste, Rock Creek soda type of budget.
Righteous.
um, so personally, I learned to price people out.
Okay.
I mean, it's something that it's sucky to say, but a lot of times prices let you know if customers are actually serious about their tattoo.
Hmm. Hmm.
But in that, I also still leave a price list so you have an idea of what prices look like. So that's me managing what that looks like. Other than that, once we have a consultation, whatever we decide on is price, it is what it is,
Hmm.
as long as it's fair for both of us.
Right.
Sometimes all of the work doesn't really match my price list.
Hmm.
So to make sure it's fair for me and the customer, generally, I think industry standard right now, the minimum is usually somewhere between 50 to 150.
Hmm.
Premium artists can be anywhere between 150 to to about 500 for a deposit alone. Um, so it really depends on the artist and their actual style or pockets,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
how they want to actually train their clientele.
Hmm.
Me personally, certain things I want to make sure that people are serious about their work, so my prices reflect the fact that you should be serious about your work.
Right. Because
Let
this
your
is kind
pockets.
of forever.
It's kind of, I mean,
It's kind of forever,
a
right?
little bit. We don't have
Right.
no erasers or nothing like that. We can't just
Right.
be like,
Right.
so I want to make sure, if those prices don't scare people, that's the first thing. I know you're
Right.
serious about your tattoo, and then we can go forward from there and we can talk about what it is that you want. In the event that somebody has an idea and say they can meet my minimum, but their
Hmm.
idea still supersedes that, and maybe they can't go any higher or anything like that. First of all, when you book, I ask about budget. So that way I know realistically where you are.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to break the bank. I want you to get good art, but I also want it to be fair for me and
Right.
you.
Right. For sure.
So budget tells me realistically where you are. There have been times that even for me to highlight my minimum, people will be honest and be like, look, I got $200. So when it comes to me, communicating with them even before consultation, I might make
Hmm.
a note and say, hey, I'm not turning down anything, but we'll definitely
Right.
have to talk about budget. Like,
Right.
see what the options are and the best ways to get you where you want to be. If
Right.
I'm the human behind the brand and the machine,
Hmm.
literally,
Hmm.
then
Right.
it's my job to make sure that those prices don't scare you. They
Right.
make sure that they do guarantee that you're serious about your ink, but
Hmm.
also that we can work together to find out something that is a fair ground for us, in your working or in our working relationship. So
Nice. And for everybody that's joining us right now, what we're talking about is Black folks and tattoos. And I'm live and direct with a Black tattoo artist who is used to tattooing on Black skin. And we're getting rid of some of the myths and the the hype and the stereotypes that are out there about Black folks and tattoos and what's available and what's not available. About deeply melanated, magical melanated skin
mhm,
getting nice work,
mhm,
and getting work from folks that kind of look like you that know how to deal with your skin, right? Because everybody that puts art on skin is not necessarily trained for your skin,
right,
right? And that's black or white, right?
right,
One of the things we've already gone over is making sure that you check your tattoo artist portfolio prior to going to get them to put anything on your skin, that
yep,
you manage your expectations and in regard to your budget. You're not going to get a full back piece for $20. And
not
if you think
something.
you're going to get a full back piece for $20, that joint going to look like some cut. And you're going to want to get the lasers to get that joint off because there's no erasers.
I don't
um,
know if y'all seen this joint, it went viral, but the dude who got the
The
Benjamin.
money jump, slim. That jump hurt me. He had the crooked faces up on that jump. He had the John Merrick Elephant Man Jones up there talk about he got
Somebody told me not to laugh at him, and I was like, "It's his own fault." Oh
he
my
got you
god!
got to check the work. And so we talked about that. We talked about testing your skin, getting a
Mhm,
small line to
mhm,
check and see if you're allergic. We talked about vegan inks. And then we talked about consultations and how you deal with
yeah.
consultations and your ideas of success. What are some of the things when you're dealing with Black folks that they should consider? And what I mean is like undertones, contrast and colors, tints, the use of black to make the colors pop, um, and how to choose. Well, we already talked about that. And what styles look best on dark skin? Because I didn't want to get back into it because yeah. But if you could approach all of this, ça va, Céline? I'm just speaking to my homie from France, Celine. Celine is a dope bass
Hello
player. She
from
tapping in. We talking about tattoos
DC.
on black skin from black folks. And if y'all check the pinned joint, if you on IG, on my IG or Imani's IG, check the pinned joint that's up there
Mm-hmm.
and pop in. And that'll give you the YouTube link directly through her shop. And this is Imani K Brown, author of Shop Girl, and my tattoo artist. So it's real personal for me. Let's do it. So, like I said, things to consider: undertones, contrasts, and colors, tints, black, using black to make the work pop. How do
Mm-hmm.
you talk to folks about that?
So it really comes down to their idea. So I normally tell people to make it easy. Just consider what you want. Be honest about what you want. Put it all out on the table. Like just throw it all out there. So even if it doesn't make sense, it could sound ridiculous, but our job together is to make sense of the ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to consultation, talking to somebody about their tattoo, say they wanted a dragon, but they only wanted it like this big, but they wanted all the fine line detail that I could possibly offer, because they've seen my fine line work. Well, this big isn't realistic. So then I have to, tell them what they could possibly get for this big. We'll start there. We'll talk about what we can get for this big in black and gray. And then the next questions are going to be, well, do you want color or do you want best of both worlds? And most of the time people are like, well, what's best of both worlds? And that is my sweet spot because it's like, it's the use of a traditional Japanese style and tattoo that actually looks really, really good on dark skin because it's high contrast. There's lots of deep black in the background, make that color pop in the foreground. Oh, it's beautiful. So usually I'll start with what the customer actually wants and tell them, we kind of break down what their hard no's are. So if it was like, no, we can't go bigger, then we need to figure out exactly what can happen in this space, with all the detail that you want. But maybe we can't have the whole body. Maybe we can have the dragon head, and at a 3/4 view. I don't know. But to be able to go through all the options of what can happen, after I identify like the hard stops, then that tells me where my creativity can actually come in. And then I impose my will. No.
What about what I wonder too is what about the contour of the person's skin? Because, being the biggest organ on your body, like how do you deal with that? Because some people, they lotion regimen ain't thorough, right? And so, no, just keeping it a buck because,
No, you
some
real.
lotion regimen ain't thorough. Or they might drink too much and their skin is mad dry, or they might suffer from like eczema or varicose veins, things of that nature. So I know that you're super, super careful. But I would want you to talk about that. Like, how do you deal with different skin textures or different blemishes, what people would consider blemishes on the skin?
So a lot of times you're not going to actually know what's happening until you get on skin. And especially now, like COVID sucks. So all of my consultations are via Skype. So the internet can actually lie to me about what the condition of your skin actually is in real life. So when you get there, say your skin is really dry, or to cut it short, pretty much what I normally tell people is I listen to your body. So while you want to get tattooed, you're definitely paying me for this service. Now that we've agreed that we're going on this journey together, my job now is forget you and your mouthpiece. I talk to your body. So if your skin is too dry and maybe I need to send you away for a week and you need to moisturize or hydrate from the inside, that's happened. And especially with fine line, because the
Mm-hmm.
finer the line and the finer the needle, I can actually cut you. So if your
Right. No,
skin
no
is
doubt.
too dry, then I'm definitely sending you away. There are
Mm-hmm.
people who, I mean, Black people, we already have extremely sensitive skin. Those of us who are worried about keloiding, it is a thing for all of us. All Black people can keloid. We have some of the most sensitive skin on the skin spectrum. So that is, if you've never keloided, trust, if the scar is deep enough, you can keloid. That's not necessarily going to happen for tattoo, but if somebody is worried about, or their skin is extremely sensitive to, I do a line and all of a sudden they look like Puff the Magic Dragon, and
Mm-hmm.
all that skin is like, I can't even see where that line happened, then,
Right.
we may have to do minimal work and come back.
Right.
I technically do things that most artists wouldn't do in terms of just slowing down the process. My
Mm-hmm.
number one goal is for people to be comfortable and to be happy with their experience, not to be scared shitless
Right.
about getting
My boy.
tattooed. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, when your skin says, I can't do this anymore, even people who are like, no, I'm not going to tap out, it hurts, but, and I'm just like, no, but your skin is saying you done. So you done.
Right. Right.
My job is to actually listen to your skin. It sounds dismissive, I guess, but it is not. It's only
It's just hella
dismissive.
real.
It's only dismissive to your mouthpiece because you
Right.
don't know what you're asking for in real life.
Right.
Oh.
Right. No, because just
You
and
don't
to keep
know, if you don't know the damage that you can actually do to your body,
right.
then it's my job to speak up and tell you we can actually damage you in this space. So
Or
let's
if you
not
don't
do
care,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Or if you don't care
yeah.
about damaging your body, like
Yeah, and I
you,
mean, while I
yeah,
like the money, I'm not here all about the money, because caring
right,
is going to take me a lot further than
right,
just trying to get a buck. So at
right,
the end of the day, I much rather slow down the process and know that your skin's good, your tattoo is going to heal healthy, it's going to be beautiful, and we can all go home happy.
right,
So
right. My phone might die, so this IG might die, but I'm just letting y'all know if y'all go to the pin joint that's
go to
in
the pin
there,
joint.
you can go to a joint that will never die. I mean, it may die after we finish, but it won't be dying while we on this joint. While we talking about, and what we talking about is tattooing Black folks with a real live tattoo artist who is used to tattooing Black folks, and this is the homie Imani K Brown. She's the author of Shop Talk. It's a book that is out right now.
Shop gal.
Shop Gal. I'm sitting here tripping. Shop Gal. I'm sorry. I'm
You looking
tripping.
at Shop Talk.
Shop Gal. I'm looking at Shop Talk talking about Shop Talk. Shop Talk. No, it's Shop Gal. But no, this is Imani, and we both like to talk about how we love each other just from our working relationship. And I'm a big fan of Imani's, and she's a big fan of mine. Um, and oh, you stuck in New York. I'm sorry. Um, so just making sure that you get the right information from the right folks,
Mhm.
because sometimes that don't happen, right? And people will try
Yeah.
to sell you on something that isn't necessarily um, good for you. And we're gonna get into it. Like, you can tat your whole fucking face with my face. Hey, I mean, if you really want to. Um, that's, I mean, um, so I did want to, that took me totally out, but it's all good now. Anyway, so Imani's well traveled. Her passport stamps are solid. She speaks Japanese. She studied Japanese from a Japanese person, actually, and then studied online and did some whole bunch of stuff, and she can navigate all the way over and everywhere. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is for the pros, for those of us who have mad work, and have
Yo,
been getting work for all for a whole long time. And then we start lunching because
the
we be thinking we
family
know a
right
whole bunch of shit, and we don't really be knowing nothing. So I wanted to talk about, like, because I know some folks that go get these tattoos of their boo name, and they might want to ease up on the boo. If the boo ain't forever
right.
ever, if the boo ain't
Forever
forever, they might want to consider getting it in what color,
red.
and why should they get it in red?
So you can cover it up. So look, there's this old wives' tale, there's this old myth, that when you get tattooed and it is of your significant other's name, that you have now cursed your relationship.
Mm,
So A lot of times, I won't say all the time, but it has happened more times than not in my career that once people have gotten their lovers, partners, husband, wife, whoever's name tattooed on them,
Mhm.
then not too long after,
Womp womp.
it's a no-go. I
Right.
normally actually advise people don't get the name, get something that even if things go sour, we're not hoping for that, but if
Right.
things go sour, you can still appreciate the art and the experience
Mhm.
that you had with that person. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Not just look at their name like, oh, and now
Right.
I'm bitter,
Right.
and not saying that that would be the case, but also just having to get a cover up costs a lot of money. Getting
Right.
tattooed first in the first place costs a lot of money.
Right.
And going through that pain twice in the same spot is just silly.
Right.
So,
Right.
I usually try and advise people to do that. But if you're going to get the name, get it in red,
Right.
call it a day.
And just in case you're just joining us, I'm here with Imani K Brown, author of Shop Gal, and we talking about tattoos and such and so forth. Um, and getting tattooed, people of color getting tattooed by people of color who know about your melanin in your skin. So tap in, tap in, tap in. If you go to the pin joint, um, uh, if you go to the pin joint, you can tap in on YouTube because this my phone might die and then we be off the live. So we're gonna still keep going. Now for those that are professionals, what's up with tattoo professionals and you old? All right, so remember you old and you've been getting tattoos. How does that tattoo age?
Mm. When you're old and you've been getting tattooed, I mean, it really just depends on how you take care of your skin. The
Mhm.
tattoo is now part of your skin. So as long as you've been taking care of your skin right, then you should be fine. And as long
Right,
as the tattoo was done well, you should be
right,
fine. So it really just depends honestly on how well you take care of your skin. Because you don't actually have to age for you to end up with your skin looking like what the crap
right,
and your tattoo looking like I'm just hanging on for dear life.
right.
So
So let me ask you this. So right, so I want to talk about that. So what happens to your tattoo if you was big and you get skinny, or you was skinny and you get big?
not the stretch mark joint.
Hey, listen, I don't want your lightning bolts to look like balloon
So
strings.
people ask about this all the time, but for real, you just really need to you if you're becoming a whole extra person or losing a whole extra person, then that's when you have something to consider. Gaining 20 pounds, gaining somewhere between 50 to 100 pounds a lot of times isn't necessarily going to affect your tattoo. Skin
Hmm.
has the greatest elasticity in it, and we black, so yeah.
That's a whole other
That joint is
situation.
like, ooh.
Right.
So it's not anything that you can't trust in terms of just take care of your skin, make sure your tattoo
Hmm.
is well. And if you lose weight, that your tattoo will still look well. And if you gain weight, your tattoo will still look well. If it was done well in the first place, your skin is definitely going to hold up with that tattoo, or that tattoo is going to hold up with your skin. So
Right. So we covered a good gamut of questions. Right. How long did you want to go?
we
Or
got 6 minutes before Zoom says get out of
oh
here.
shit. All right. Well, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Where the questions supposed to go? They'll go in the chat on where? On the
um,
Tubish?
oh, that's a good question because we're not on. If you hit YouTube, you can actually leave them on YouTube, or you could put them in the Instagrams.
You can put them in the IG.
Um,
But if not, I ain't tripping. Also, because we could do this again, right?
mhm, we
So
could do this again.
just
Um,
to kind of wrap up, what's up with the I want to talk about, like, I know because we talk about it. What's up with the tattoo experience in Japan versus the tattoo experience in DC or in the US? Let me not, I don't want to make you pin you at home because you used to get out like that before the COVIDs. So go ahead, tell it.
so I love tattooing in Japan. I also love tattooing in my studio. That's it. um, We can all go home now. Tattooing in Japan is, like I said, it's a cultural experience. So being able to see myself in this culture as it relates to tattoo, like I could drop the black part and see myself as a tattoo
Right.
artist in
Right.
Japan and see what I'm going for, see the
Right.
tattoo styles that I actually enjoy, the art styles that I gravitate towards. So it's very inspiring. Like it's very overwhelming there actually. And I usually take a lot of that and I kind of like hoard it until I come back and I unpack it while I'm here in my studio, just processing.
Right.
It's quiet. The things around me are familiar, so it's not a great overload. But tattooing in the US, it seems to have a lot more ego. It's very ego driven. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
I don't like to tattoo a lot with a lot of people or tours, tattoo shows, or I like to do these talks and I like for people to come to my studio.
Nah, I feel that. I feel that. Do you feel like it's a box? Do you feel like a unicorn? Like not in the kawaii unicorn way, but like as a unicorn, like because you are a black woman who owns her own shop and is a master of moving into the mastery of art on skin.
Yeah, I do actually. So there's in Color Outside the Lines, Mama Jackie Gresham is the first black prominent black woman in tattoo. She's also in the same documentary I'm in, Color Outside the Lines, and she talks about like literally one of the first scenes is where she literally is telling this white lady that she can get out of this nigga's shop. And a lot of times that boss feeling is literally how I feel, where it's just like, dang, this me.
Right.
This me and the customers, like this the fam, this us, this is what's up. So it's one of those, I don't know. I guess we've come back to the definition of success.
There we go.
So
That's a blessing.
yeah, it's definitely it's a mood.
Okay. Oh, did I disappear? Who disappeared? We disappeared. We all disappeared. Oh, just me and you
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
Okay, it's just you and me. Anyway,
No,
no. So just to wrap it up, I appreciate you. Thank you for
no,
doing
thank
this talk.
you.
And people can follow you at ipukekawaii.
ipukekawaii.com.
All right. .com. You can find her on IG at ipukekawaii, Kawaii. I puke as in puke, like I throw up
I
cuteness.
puke cuteness.
I puke cuteness. ipukekawaii.com. You can check the pin joint I got in the joint. Imani K Brown, author of Shop
Author.
Gal. Author. So that's the homie. She got the book out. Author of Shop Gal. She's also in Color Outside the Lines. She's an expert tattoo artist. I can't wait to get into my next session so we can get the rest of my body done.
It's like in 2 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for joining us. I appreciate you. My name is Kokayi, and that's that.
Bye,
Peace, y'all.
guys. Thank you.
Onesies.